AAA gaming needs to do better. Now, when I say AAA gaming, obviously I mean those big bombastic studios that everyone knows, is familiar with. For example, Ubisoft, 343, Blizzard, all those kinds of companies generally just need to do better. Over the past decade or so, we have had a lot of predatory practices come out, and unfortunately, it's even leaked into the European Parliament where they've had to address loot boxes, which is absolutely crazy that I live in a timeline where it has to be addressed. All too often, we're coming out with games that are unfinished or unpolished or just really consumer-based garbage that you're just meant to just eat. Don't ask questions, just eat. And it's really frustrating to see. One of the most prolific examples of this was Destiny. Now, in Destiny 1, it was revealed that a lot of the DLCs, I believe the first 2 DLCs, the story from those games were cut content from the first game. I addressed actually a lot of this in my DLC rant video. Actually, go check that out if you want to see more of my opinion on this kind of stuff generally. But yeah, you have a lot of games coming out unfinished. Say, for example, the Callisto Protocol. Now, Callisto Protocol is generally a pretty good game, but I refuse to believe that it was play tested correctly. On my stream, I actually encountered a game-breaking glitch where I could not progress past this elevator area.
Just try not to think about it.
All right, gang, let's try it. What's it, take number 4? Take number 4? Let's see if it crashes. No way! I've turned the stream off. And it actually got so bad, I had to like go on Reddit and look at a bunch of stuff. I actually had to turn off the entire game's like sound, like any sound, all the voices, like music, all that, so I could progress to this area. Why this is a glitch, I don't know. I don't know if this has been patched yet or anything, but it's weird. You have things like cosmetics being such a important factor in how you get player interaction that we have the battle pass system. And don't get me wrong, I don't think there's really anything too bad with cosmetics or anything like that, but when you have the prices attached to some of these things, it can get a little ridiculous. I think probably the most egregious I can think of is Overwatch and the whole souvenir system, because no one uses souvenirs, literally no one. But the only reason the souvenirs are in the game is to hike up prices for bundles and things like that, because it's like, oh, this skin is $10, but if you get the souvenir, that's gonna be about 15. Like, it's ridiculous. I think one of the most prolific examples of what gamers want today is Elden Ring. Elden Ring was one of the hypest releases. I actually had no idea. I heard about it from word of mouth from a friend, and he was like, hey, you gonna get the new Elden Ring? I was like, you know, Souls games aren't really my thing. And then when it actually dropped, I couldn't touch that. I could literally not put that game down for, I don't even know how long, man. I think I stopped playing it around my 4th or 5th playthrough or something. I had so much fun with that game, and part of the magic of that is literally, here is the entire game. There is so much to do in this game. Go play, go have fun. We were literally begging, and I mean begging and crying for DLC. And when it finally got announced, I mean, the hype was unmatched, son. I mean, look, listen, I was going crazy in those replies. Look. But they literally just gave you a finished product that you could tell how much, that it just had so much heart and soul into it. And unfortunately, that's kind of a rare commodity nowadays. You'll even have certain competitive games that are having an identity crisis. Now, I had a pretty tumultuous relationship with Rainbow Six Siege. I played an unhealthy amount during the pandemic, and one thing that really bothered me was that the balancing changes, they weren't really sure if they wanted to adhere to what the pro players were saying or to what the casual players were saying, and they would do these weird back and forth and never stick on what they were trying to do, and it was really weird. Now, obviously, everyone knows that EA is kind of a company, and they've had some pretty massive blunders, if we're being honest. So I'm not gonna rip on them too hard because a lot of it is just information that we already know. You also have games that just aren't really supported, that really just weren't given the chance to shine. For example, Multiverses pretty much died after its first season because apparently there's just no content to be had. Also, lack of local multiplayer. I don't know why we're still arguing for this feature in 2023, but I guess here we are. If you're gonna be a Smash clone, go all the way. Now, I'm not saying every game in this style is, you know, a Smash clone, but obviously Smash pioneered the genre, you know what I mean? So it just really makes me sad to just see a lot of these AAA titles just get thrown out with little to no care. It's very evident what games have passion and what games don't. For example, Hi-Fi Rush was literally just shadow dropped onto everybody. Like there was literally zero promotion, and then it came out, everyone was like, whoa! Or even the Dead Space remake. Boy, I had so much fun with the Dead Space remake. Now, obviously, what EA did to Visceral Studios was awful, yada, yada, yada. But the fact that I sat down, played the game, completed the game, and I was begging for more. I want more. I want a Dead Space 2 remake. I want a Dead Space 3 remake. I want all of the suits. There's so much I want to do because the game left me wanting more in a good way. The game wasn't they're not trying to actively sell sequel bait or anything like that. They're just giving you a finished whole product. And again, I think it's just sad that we're at this point. This is a pretty dark time in Sega's history, but I also made an example of how Sega at one point tried to sell Supersonic as DLC in Sonic Forces, and the internet pretty much forgot how horrendous that change was, considering that Supersonic was in almost every single mainline Sonic game since Sonic 2. A lot of gamers also nowadays just have fatigue from certain genres. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, that game had one of the biggest launches in terms of sales for Call of Duty, and the numbers just going down. Even myself, I was super hyped when it came out, and then it hit, and there's just all these things that I'm just like, man, I'm good on this. This is a small side tangent, but I think for myself personally, what really broke the camel's back for me was the perk system and how you upgrade weapons. Because before you would just level up, upgrade weapons, that was it. But I have to upgrade this weapon to a certain level and then upgrade this weapon to a certain level, and it just makes it very weird. It doesn't adhere to the playstyle I would like to play as. Halo Infinite. I will actually give me 1 second. So I'm actually in the middle of recording a video. I need to know what Halo Infinite was lacking during a launch, as opposed to other Halo titles, because I know hating Halo is your specialty that you like to do in your free time. So I need your opinion.
I don't even know where to start. Let's start with something you probably know about: Infection. I think Assault, King of the Hill, just a bunch of game types. Okay,
so Infection was lacking at launch. Forge was missing as well, right? Did they just put in Forge?
Yeah, they put it in a year later.
They put it in
there's still no XP progression system like in Halo 3 or Reach. Remember, you got credits for playing the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all they have is the battle pass, which is just really embarrassing.
Okay. Was there anything else that was missing from launch?
No Slayer at launch, remember?
Oh yeah! Oh, they didn't have the playlist, did they? They didn't.
They had quick play. They had quick play.
I think because I made a video on it. Yeah, I remember that.
Let's see. VIP. No SWAT at launch either. I mean, you can kind of count Firefight, I guess.
Right.
I mean, besides all the weapons missing. Well, I don't know if you want to count the weapons. Queuing for specific game modes. I think the service record is a really big one you should emphasize.
Okay.
Because that's just embarrassing. Apparently, they have the service record in beta. How do you have numbers in beta?
Okay, so the service record was like your stats and all that, right? Like it was like, oh, X amount, this player had X amount of kills, you've played this amount of time, and this playlist.
Yeah.
This map. Oh, that was missing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look, at the very minimum, XP per match. You know, like, oh, you got 50 XP for whatever, and maybe an extra 50 for winning. They don't have that. Actually, I don't know if they added it yet, but point is, it took them like over a year to add it. If they have it now, I don't know if they have it now because I haven't played that game in, well, you know why.
Yeah, right.
No co-op, remember? No co-op. No level select.
Oh yeah, for the campaign, yeah, that was a big thing. That's why I didn't finish that campaign. Is there was no level select. You couldn't select it. So like in Halo 4, you'd be like, okay, like chapter 6 or chapter 5 or whatever. Like we're going to leave off at, or like chapter in Halo 3, you could do the same thing. There wasn't any of that. Yeah. Oh wow.
You should definitely remember the lack of customization. I would consider that a missing feature.
When you say customization, are you talking about loadouts, or are you talking about like cosmetics?
No, I mean, yeah, cosmetics. You have to pay for colors. or you know.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing too. Yeah. Also the store just sucks. Like there's like what 3 or 4 featured items and they're all trash. Like I waited, I think I texted you this. I waited like I think like months on end to get these cat ears that I just got. I played like 2 games and I just stopped.
The game is so boring. Like even if you wanted to be like a consumer and spend hella money on it, they can't even do that right.
Right.
They can't even scam me properly.
Right.
And come on.
Okay, so question for you. I'm not gonna make this too long because it's late. But in your opinion, what is the biggest issue with AAA games nowadays?
Very good question. I would say the standards have dropped for sure, specifically with multiplayer AAA games.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the bar has lowered to the point where glitchy games and incomplete games are the new normal, and we've been conditioned to just be okay with it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people, a side thing is a lot of people prioritize content over gameplay, you know? I feel like it's like an endless content treadmill.
So like Destiny 2. So part of the reason I have a fair amount of time in Destiny, but the reason I really fell off that game is it started feeling like a job. It started feeling like a chore. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like there's a difference between, you know, say like I'm still on my Overwatch kick and I'm putting so many hours into ranked and all that stuff, and I can see the progression. I'm learning different things, but I can only play so many missions and do so like 19 different steps to get this one gun, or like raids. Like raids are a huge thing for the Destiny community, but unfortunately sometimes I just don't have that time. I don't have the coordination. I don't feel like dealing with people. You know what I mean? So it can get frustrating.
I truly can't understand people who come back to a game because they added skins. There's a lot of people who operate like that, and I really don't get it, because just like you experienced, you know, like you waited for the cat ear skin or whatever, and you stop playing after like 2 games because the fundamental game is just boring.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. Something about Halo 5 to me just felt so empty and lackluster. Every time I finished a game, like I felt like I got nothing done. Like I remember specifically in the first in the first season at launch, I played the hell out of that game. I played like hours upon hours. I was loving it, and then I would look at my progression on the battle pass, and I would like every 15 games I went up like 3 tiers in the battle pass, and I was like, what is going on? Like I was like, I'm doing nothing. I'm throwing things at the wall. It's not like I'm like getting anything either. It's not like I'm like upgraded like like getting like more customization options or anything like that. I'm really just like on a hamster spinning a wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what games are designed around now. Like compare menus and UIs to 10 years ago, where functionality was what they were focused on, but now they're focused on getting you to the store.
Right.
It's not about connecting you to other players or, you know, being a good UI. It's just about getting money out of you.
And you know, that's why, and I was before I called you, actually, I was going in depth on how people want to be sequel baited. Like people want to beg for more, right? So I was talking about how Elden Ring was my favorite release out of last year, and literally they took however long with the game, and they said, here's this finished product, go play, open world, go play, do what you want, who cares, right? And people were screaming, begging, crying for DLC. We want more, we need more. Not that they were lacking anything in the original release, but it was just so good. No, I'm sorry, I'm geeking, but like it was so good that like I need it, dude. When it was like Tuesday at like 3 a.m. I was up. I checked my Twitter. I saw that FirmSoft had like tweeted out something. It hit like 100K replies in like an hour. It was like 100K likes like an hour. People were geeking that they announced DLC. I was going crazy in the replies. I'm like, yo, like yes, that's what we want. You know what I mean? Or like God of War, right? Perfect example of this. God of War, they give you a finished product. Here you go, right? It might have some bugs and glitches and all that, but they're not shorting you on anything. There's no store or anything like that. They're literally just, here you go, have fun, go play, right? Or like the Dead Space remake, right? You have your small customization options or whatever like that, but like you can upgrade it. You can get pretty much all of it just through playing the game. And you have your smaller stuff like, oh, you bought this at Best Buy or pre-ordered the game, and that's all fine. That's all fine and good. But you know, it's things like that. When you give me a finished product, when you let me eat my food and you're not sparse with it, I'm gonna want more. You know what I mean? So I ranted. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's just
No, it's true. It's true. If you want to eat good, you gotta let them cook first. You know, you can't make them rush this type of quality. You know, I personally have not played Elden Ring yet, but from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it looks like an amazing game. Halo Infinite was supposed to come out 1 year before its original release date, because you remember it got pushed back, right?
Yeah, it got pushed back a couple times. Yeah.
So imagine, just imagine what the hell they were gonna give us before.
You get quick play and you get big team battle. That's it. Go have fun.
I can't even imagine how many maps they must have had. Probably like 3 or 4. I don't know.
I don't
know.
I mean, what like developers that got let go, we're talking about incompetent leadership at the company, you know what I mean? And those poor devs, man, they were getting cooked alive, dude. I read so many things about people getting death threats and all this other kind of stuff because of the lack of quality leadership they were getting, you know what I mean? So I feel bad for the devs. Really, when it comes to, you can have your gripes with, you know, level design and all that kind of stuff, but when it comes to lack of content and lack of like good business practices, you don't need to be yelling at the devs. You need to be yelling at the people in charge, man. You also got to vote with your wallet too. I was screaming up and down when Overwatch 2 released. You had these horribly inflated prices on these skins and all this different stuff, and I was like, bro, do not buy this. Do not spend your money on this, because you can yell at them on Twitter all day up and down. Oh man, this is BS and da 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 da. But as soon as they see that they're not making money, hold on, something's got to change. It took them 3 seasons to reduce the price on some of this stuff. And even then, some of this is a little iffy. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion on it.
This is all gamers' fault. This is the market that we created, because we keep buying this shit. I personally try and stop myself from wasting money on stuff like that. You know, like skins. I don't really buy skins in games that I play very often, unless it's in like a market like Dota 2 has.
But Vem, they put Goku in Fortnite. I gotta buy it. I'm sorry. And yeah, I actually did not plan on having Vem in this video, nor did I plan on talking to them for that long. But yeah, make sure you go subscribe to them. So anyway, guys, yeah, man, that's just my overall thoughts on the state of AAA games, man. It's kind of a shame where we've come to, especially like 10 to 15 years ago. Because I mean, you look at, you know, about 10 years ago, you would have a bad game, but it was just a bad game. It was full, but it was a bad game. Or you would have a good game that was just good game. Here you go. We might give you a sequel. We don't know. But now it's just all this DLC, sequel bait, yada, yada, yada. And it's just sad where we've come to. What do you think needs to be changed or can be improved upon? Anyways, guys, be your boy Daffy, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Discord will be in the description. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. All right, peace.